Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Central Lyon Baseball. Back for the summer here on YouTube instead of the High School Cube, which it actually might be streaming on that yet, but we are eventually going to go away from that. So we encourage you to watch it on YouTube, and hopefully you have better results from watching it on YouTube. So the Lions open up the season tonight against Spirit Lake, and the Indians last season were 16-9 on the season. And they come into the game tonight with a 2-0 start to their season so far. They beat West Lyon 7-0 and Sioux Central 5-3. Both of those games were at home. And in that game against West Lyon, both Houston Hawkins, their shortstop, and Jack Radcliffe, the catcher, hit home runs in that game. And they had Tuesday's game at Sioux Center postponed. So they will have to make that up with Sioux Center. The Indians lost 6 seniors from last season. And looking at the Lions side, the Lions were 18-6 last year, and they got 2 victories in the postseason before falling on a walk-off hit to West Sioux in the 3rd round of the postseason. And this is the first game, as I said, for the Lions. They started last season 3-0, and the Lions were 8-1 at home in 2016, 3-1 on neutral sites, and 7-4 on the road. So hopefully the Lions can keep up their winning ways here at home tonight. The Lions did lose 3 seniors from last year: C.J. Ross, Pete Menage, and Dustin Ramsey. And the Lions return Riley Van Wy for his senior season. Last year he led the Lions in most offensive categories. 9 home runs was the big one. And a busy week for the Lions next week, and we'll get into those games here later on the pregame show. We will take a look at statistics and starting lineups coming up here after this 30-second timeout. Welcome back to Borman Forster Fields in Rock Rapids, and here is the starting lineup for the Central Lyon Lions. And leading off will be center fielder Mitch Van Beek, batting second, third baseman Gable Sieperda, shortstop Riley Van Wy, pitcher Jaden Baker, first baseman Brant Bookout, left fielder Brendan Huseman, second baseman Ryan Metzger, and catcher Brady Wright, and the right fielder Zed Hymanson. That's going to do it for the pregame show. We'll be back for first pitch after this. Welcome back to Mormon Forster Fields in Rock Rapids, and here's a look at the starting lineup for the Spirit Lake Indians here tonight. Leading off, the left fielder, number 2, Ben Newman. Third baseman, number 16, Nick Christensen. Shortstop, number 17, Houston Hawkins. First baseman, number 10, Dylan Reynolds. Catcher, number 6, Jack Radcliffe. Pitcher, number 4, Gavin DeVos. Center fielder, number 13, Austin Jennings. The designated hitter, Gavin Kramer, number 3. And he's batting for the right fielder, number 18, Ben Heitrader. And the second baseman, number 22, Kyler Olson. Spirit Lake is coached by Paul Brown and assisted by Central Lyon's own Ross Ackerman. On the mound is Jaden Baker for the Lions. And I'll give you positions of where the Lions are defensively here again in a moment. The Lions defensively, first around the infield, Brant Bookout at first, Gable Siepert at third for the corners, and in the middle, Riley Van Wyatt short, Ryan Metzger at second. Here's the first pitch in there for strike one from Jaden Baker to Ben Newman. And the outfield, Brady Wright behind the plate. And the outfield from left to right goes Brendan Huseman, Mitch Van Beek, and Zed Hymanson. Count is now 1-1 from Baker to Newman. As I said, Spirit Lake, they are 2-0 to start the season. A 5-3 win in their last game against Sioux Central. And there's a ball. Baker falls behind 2-1 now. And there's ball 3, a little bit low, says the home plate umpire. And the 3-1 from Baker is outside. Ball 4, a leadoff walk for Newman. That'll bring up Christensen. Nick Christensen to bat. Newman aboard at first base. First pitch to the lefty Newman, as it's lefty versus lefty, and it's a strike, 0-1 to start. And our scoreboard is not working for tonight's game, so I will do my best to say the score. And there's ball 1 and a stolen base for Newman. One and one. And there's a strike, 1-2. Runner at second base is Newman. And here's a pitch down low. Newman stays put at second base, and it's 2-2. Nick Christensen last season was a .323 hitter for Spirit Lake, and that's a ball. And now we have a full count once here, and looking at Spirit Lake's numbers offensively from 2016, they were a .316 average hitting team last year. And there's ball 4. Baker issues a leadoff walk and a second walk to the number 2 batter. That'll bring up the shortstop, Houston Hawkins. Hawkins last season with a .359 batting average. And runners stay put on either a wild pitch or a pass ball that would have been if the runners advanced. But nice job by Brady Wright back there to get the ball quickly. 1-0 the count on Houston Hawkins. And another pitch in the dirt. Both runners take off and are able to advance on a wild pitch. Runners at second and third, nobody out. 2-0 to the number 3 hitter, Houston Hawkins. And there's a pitch. Maybe a little bit high, but it's in there for a strike for Baker. And there's a pitch that gets past right, and a run will score. And Spirit Lakes takes the lead on another wild pitch from Baker. And the count is 3-1 on Hawkins. Still nobody out. Now a runner at third. Here's Baker's pitch, a swing and a miss, and the count is full. A little bit of a breeze, as you can tell from my microphone. There's a swing and a miss, and out number 1 as Hawkins, Houston Hawkins, goes swinging, and 1 out. Now Dylan Reynolds will hit. There's a strike. Dylan Reynolds on the season last year only had 13 at-bats. He was 2 for 13 with a run scored. He drew a walk and struck out 5 times. There's a swing and a miss, and it's 0-2. Here's the 0-2 from Baker. And there's a pop-up down the right field line, but it will hook foul. And Baker, we'll see what Baker does here on another 0-2, as that was just a defensive swing there by Reynolds. And a strikeout, back-to-back strikeouts now for Baker, and that'll bring up the catcher, Jack Radcliffe. Radcliffe. And Riley Van Wy bobbles the ball at short, and that's a rare error by Riley Van Wy. But it will allow the runner to come in, and It's 2-0, still 2 outs, and here's a courtesy runner for Spirit Lake at first base. Jack Dykema running. Gavin DeVos pitching and now batting for Spirit Lake. There's a swing and a miss. Off balance as loses his balance there in the batter's box. 0-1. There's a swing and a miss. 0-2. So both of those runs will be earned against Baker, but it would have been only one run if Van Wy would have thrown out the runner. Runner advances on the play. Just a steal, I would imagine. I don't think it was really a pass ball. So stolen base to get the pinch runner Dykema to second. 1-2. Baker looks him back. Van Wy and Metzger were trying to keep him close. There's a ball. 2-2. Here's the 2-2. Outside, and now another full count. I believe it's the third full count by Baker in the game so far here in the first inning. I think he walked the first guy on four balls, and he only had one strike on that guy. Can't remember exactly how that went, but there's a foul ball, keeping the at-bat alive for Gavin DeVos. Or excuse me, this is, yeah. As Radcliffe struck out. Another foul ball. DeVos on the season last year was a .253 hitter. There's another strikeout. 3 strikeouts for Baker, but also he allowed 3 runners and 2 walks in the inning. Spirit Lake has a 2-0 lead. We go to the bottom of the first, where the Lions will try and strike back. Back after this. Mitch Van Beek will lead it off for the Lions here in the bottom half of the first. First pitch in there for strike one. Mitch Van Beek last season was a .403 hitter for the Lions. Ball one, 1-1. He had 22 runs batted in. That was second only to Riley Van Wy. 3 triples on the season and 8 doubles for Mitch Van Beek. Here's a ground ball to short. Hawkins fires to get him by a step or so. And out number 1, here's Gable Sieperda. DeVos fires strike one as he's gotten ahead of both hitters. DeVos last season as a junior was 2-4 with a 3.12 ERA. There's a swing and a miss. 0-2 to Sieperda. He had 28 strikeouts in 42 2/3 innings, so not a huge strikeout guy, but he does get one here on Sieperda for the second out of the bottom of the first. Here's Van Wy. Lions hoping for a 2-out rally. Nobody better to start it than Van Wy. 452 batting average a year ago. 9 home runs, 39 runs batted in. 5 doubles, 3 triples. 9 walks as it's 2-0. Struck out 12 times in 84 at-bats. 16 of 19 stolen bases. Had a .905 slugging percentage last year and a .521 on base percentage. And if he gets another ball here, that'll get his on base percentage up to 1,000 to start. And instead, he'll ground one sharply to Hawkins, and he's out by a half a step to end the first inning. Lions trail 2-0 as we go to inning number 2. Back after this. Welcome back. Leading off for the Indians to start the second is the center fielder, Austin Jennings. Three and one here on DeVos. It was a pickoff to end the top of the first inning. Now that I got that straight. Here's a line drive to center fielder Mitch Van Beek, who makes the catch. Well hit ball, but right at Mitch Van Beek. Now Austin Jennings. Ball one delivered. Jennings last season, 6 for 29. He's just a junior this year. He did hit a home run and 7 runs batted in. He only hit 207, as I said, but did get some timely hits. Count 2-1 now. One down here in the second inning. Baker gets a swing and a miss on a pitch down in the zone. 2-2. The lefty delivers. Pitch is off the outside corner and a little high. 3-2. And a swing and a miss, and the third, as that wasn't a strikeout to end the last inning. So the third for Baker. Here's the designated hitter, Gavin Kramer. He's hitting for the right fielder, Ben Heitrader. There's a strike. And a ball. 1-1. Pitch swung on and missed. 1-2. Baker looking good so far here in the second. We'll see if he can have a 1-2-3 inning after the shaky start in the first. Here's the 1-2 in the dirt. 2-2. Got him! Strike 3 called, the fourth strikeout for Jaden Baker. We go to the bottom of the second. Lions down 2-0. Jaden Baker will lead off for the Lions here to start the bottom of the second inning. See if he can help himself out a little bit here. And there is a nice scoop at first base by Reynolds for the out. And one away quickly. And that'll bring up Brant Bookout, the first baseman. Ball 1 to Brant Bookout, the lefty. There's a foul ball as Coach Pashon gets out of the way. The count is 1-1 on Brant Bookout. And now we got to wait for the baseball, as apparently there's no other baseballs available. Or they've only got one other one or something. Now they do have a baseball. They're going to use it here. And it is a ball. Excuse me, a ball. 2-1. Here comes the 2-1 to Bookout. And there's a fly ball to left center field. And a catch made by the center fielder, Austin Jennings. Out number 2 in the bottom of the second inning. Here's Brendan Huseman. On the season last year, Huseman was a .260 hitter for the Lions. Eight RBIs, 2 doubles for Brendan, 9 walks, 11 stolen bases in 12 attempts. Here's a fly ball to left center field. Back goes Jennings, and that retires the side, and the inning comes to a close on a couple of fly balls to Jennings in center. We go to the third inning. Lions still trailing 2-0. Kyler Olson, the second baseman, will lead off for the Indians here in the third inning. He only had 3 at-bats last season, 0 for 3. He is the second baseman. Here is Olson. And the delivery from Baker. He gets off to a strike to start the inning. There's a ball, 1-1. Baker pitching last season. He had 4 starts, and it was not a good year for Baker last year. There's a strike, 1 and 2. He only pitched 9 1/3 innings in those 4 starts, and allowed 14 runs. He did have 16 strikeouts. And there's a ball. And if you've seen some of his control issues here so far tonight, but Lions hoping that he will settle in. There's a swing and a foul ball to keep the count at 2-2. He's definitely got the arm talent, that is for sure. Now he just needs to continue to progress, and hopefully he can be the leader of this Lions rotation. There's a ball, and now full count. Full count to start the third inning. And ball 4. And the third walk from Baker. Back to the top of the lineup for Ben Newman. Olson, the second baseman, at first base after the walk. And ball 1 delivered to Newman. Newman scored on a wild pitch his first time after he walked. And the runner goes on a fake bunt attempt. Here's Brady Wright's throw, and Van Wy's able to knock it down to stop the runner from advancing to even third base. And a time called. Van Wy going to talk to Baker? No, he just gives him the ball. I think Spirit Lake called for time, as Coach Paul Brown wanted to talk to his batter, Ben Newman. 2-0 the count. And the pitch in there for a strike. 2-1. The score is 2-0 in favor of the Indians. I gotta try to remember to say that as often as possible, as again, you guys can't see the scoreboard. We've been having issues with that tonight. There's a good bunt, and it will advance the runner to third. Bookout's throw to first. And he was off the base at first. So the runner will be safe at first, and the runner will go to third on the bunt for a single. Now Coach Docker having a conversation with the 2 umpires. and does not get anything accomplished. So now batting will be Nick Christensen. Runners at the corners with nobody out, as Brady Wright just gave signals to the infielders on what to do if they get the ball. And maybe to Baker also. The runner goes. Throw to fake to third, actually. They'll keep won't worry about the runner at second as he advances. Newman, sorry. Christensen at the plate, 1-0. He walked his first time up. And there's ball 2. Baker 3 walks so far, 2 of them in the first inning. 1 of them here in this inning in the third. There's a ball left up, 3-0. A pitch away from loading the bases, or I should say a ball away. 2-0 Spirit Lake, nobody out. They've got runners at second and third here in the third. There's a strike. And now 3-1. There's a swing and a foul. And the count is full again. I think this is the 5th time Jaden Baker's had a full count tonight. Here's the pitch. Popped up and out of play. Yes. Sounds like it hit the stands back there behind home plate. 3-2. Once again to Christensen, the third baseman for Spirit Lake. Here is Baker. He delivers, and the pitch is lined down the left field line, and that is a fair ball. 1 run scores as Huseman does a really good job of getting that ball back in, as it only scores 1 run. But all the way to second base goes Christensen with a double. Here's a ground ball to Seaperda at third. It goes over his head. And 2 runs will score. Runner advances to second base. It's 4-0 Indians lead here in the third. An E5 on Gable Seaperda. And it's 4-0. Here comes Dylan Reynolds, the first baseman, reached on an error. It is actually 5-0. 3 runs here in the third and 2 from the second. 1 strike to Reynolds. Not the way Baker wanted his first start of the season to go at all. And there's ball 1, 1-1. Could be the last inning, assuming Baker gets through this inning for him, depending on what Coach Docker decides to do. Wild control issues, 2-1 the count now. And now 3-1. A hitter's count to Reynolds, 3-1. And there's a fly ball into shallow center, and it will drop in front of Mitch Van Beek. And just has to get it into the infield. So that was really shallow as he was playing back. Of course, Reynolds, a number 4 hitter for a reason. Don't want to play him too shallow usually. And here comes Coach Docker out of the dugout. And a pitching change could be on the horizon. We'll take a break and be back after this. Jack Radcliffe will come in after the pitching change. Brant Book out to the mound and Baker to first base. A straight-up switch by the Lions. First pitch from Bookout is up high and away, ball 1. Don't have a final line on Baker yet. Obviously, two runners still on. But he did go 2 innings, 2+ innings. And there's a strike, 1-1. So far, 5 runs. I'd have to check to see if all of them are earned. I think they probably are, but not 100% certain. There was a couple of errors, one by the Lions for sure that could be an unearned run, but I do think they're all earned. Here's Bookout getting a strikeout of Radcliffe, and here comes the pitcher DeVos. Here's Bookout. He delivers strike 1 to DeVos. There's a pitch way up and in on DeVos. And it's 1-1 from Bookout to DeVos. Pitcher versus pitcher now. Here's Bookout delivering, and the pitch left up high, 2-1. I'm sure Coach Docker's just wanting to see some consistency here strike-wise. Hopefully Brandt can get back in the zone. Here's a high fly ball. Might get to the outfield. It will. Here's Mitch Van Beek making the catch for out number 2. A fly out for DeVos. Second time he's flown out to center. Here's Jennings. Five to nothing Spirit Lake here in the third inning. 2 out with runners at the corners for Austin Jennings. He struck out swinging his first time up. There's ball 1. Again, the first game of the season for the Lions tonight. Non-conference action here against Spirit Lake. There's a ball left upstairs. 2-0 from Bookout to Jennings. There's a strike. 1 strike. Now 2-1 the count with 2 outs. Reynolds still at first. Here's a swing and a miss by Jennings to even the count at 2. Now runners at the corners. 2 on, 2 out, and a 2-2 count. And the pitch inside ball 3, and it's a full count. Reynolds from first should be going on the pitch. He goes, and the pitch is ball 4, and the bases are loaded, but a force in order at any place. First, second, third, or home, so the Lions do have that benefit going for them, but a walk, and that'll bring up the DH, Kramer. Strike 1 delivered from Bookout to Kramer. Hopefully, there's a ball. Hopefully Kramer doesn't get on base because we're going to run out of room on our lineup cards, or our score sheets here, I should say. As Kyler Olson already batted in this inning, the number 9 hitter. There's a strike, 1-2. And, you know, it'd be nice if the Lions could just get out of the inning anyway, so that would be a benefit for the scorekeepers and the players here on the field. There's a ball, 2-2 once again. Two and two to Bookout, or from Bookout to Kramer. Here's a line drive to center fielder Mitch Van Beek, who puts it away to retire the side. But Spirit Lake adds 3 more runs, and they now lead 5-0 as we head to the bottom of the third. Lions coming up to bat. Ryan Metzger will lead things off in the bottom of the third for the Lions. 7-8-9 here in the third. Should say 7-8-9, and hopefully a lot more than that, as the Lions down 5-0 could use some runs to get back into this here. There's a leadoff base hit, down for a hit by Ryan Metzger. Soft line drive, served up into left field, a base hit. Metzger aboard to lead off the bottom of the third. Here's Brady Wright. One of the three lefties in the Lions order, Brady Wright to the batter's box. Here's a strike delivered. Oh, 0-1 to Brady. Brady's able to bunt, but he fouls it away. He did make contact, though. That's good. Didn't want to leave Ryan, who's not the speediest guy out there. Might have been a sitting duck at second base. Who knows? Didn't really get to see what kind of a jump he had either, but there's a ball, 1-2. Now Brady's just going to try and battle and hopefully get a good pitch to hit here eventually. Here's the 1-2 from DeVos, and it's in there for strike three. Here's Zed Hymanson, the right fielder. Here's Hymanson. On the season last year, he was 3 for 9 with 12 runs scored, as he did a lot of pinch running, or I should say courtesy running. So 333 average. Ryan gets back in safely. I think the count is 1-0. And it is 1-0, 1 out. Ryan Metzger at first base. Here's a swing and a miss from Hymanson. 1-1. 5-0 here in the bottom of the third. The Indians lead the Lions. 1 out, 1 on, and a 1-1 count. Ones all across the board except for the inning sign and, of course, the score. Here's a pop-up and out of play. 1-2. Top of the order will come back up for the Lions, unless Hymanson would hit into a double play, which is pretty unlikely. Hymanson, a pretty fast guy. Unless it was tailor-made. There's a ball outside, 2-2. 2-2, 1 out. Metzger at first. And there's a flare into right, and it will carry all the way out to the right fielder. Metzger back to first, and he'll go to second. He stumbles out of the gate. And he's out at second base. Double play ends the inning. We go to the fourth, 5-0, Spirit Lake. Double play ended the bottom of the third inning. Lions down 5-0 as we start inning number 4. Spirit Lake will have Kyler Olson leading off the top of the fourth. Brant Bookout still on the mound for the Lions. He is able to get out of the third inning without allowing any more runs after Baker was pulled. So good job of damage control there by Brant. Ball 1 delivered. And there's a strike, 1-1 in there from Bookout to Olson. So the final line on Jaden Baker, 2+ innings pitched. There's a swing and a miss, 1 and 2. 5 earned runs. I'm actually going to just say 5 runs for now. 5 runs. I'm going to have to look up. I'm pretty sure they're all earned. And I think 3 or 4 walks, so actually I don't really have a final line for you. He allowed 5 runs in 2+ innings. That's about all I can tell you right now. And there's a swing and a foul, I believe is what it was, and it's remaining 1 and 2. Here's Bookout. And there's a ball in the dirt. I don't think it hit Olson. I think some of the Spirit Lake kids thought maybe it did, but it did not. Here's Bookout delivering. Ball 3. Three and 2. There's a strike and a strike out to start the inning. And that's a backwards K, I should say. And here is the top of the order, Ben Newman. Bookout hoping for a 1-2-3 inning. Baker did have one in the second inning and gave us hope that he would be able to get out of his funk to start the game, but unfortunately did not happen. Ball 1 delivered. The sun goes behind the clouds for the most part right now. There's a swing and a miss, 1-1. Newman has reached both times so far. He walked and singled. He scored both times as well. And there's a ball, 2-1. Both the 1 and 2 batters for Spirit Lake have scored twice. 4 of their 5 runs coming from those batters. Here's a pitch fouled off. 2-2. There's a strike and a strikeout for Bookout. His second strikeout in a row, and they were both looking. Here's Bookout delivering. First pitch in there for a strike. Bookout been firing strikes in there. Christensen had a walk and a double so far, 1 for 1. 2 runs scored. There's a strike 2, 0-2. Bookout already 2 strikeouts to start the inning. Can he strike out the side? Ball in the dirt. 1-2. And that's a base hit. Third time, Christensen. I don't know why I keep saying Chapman. He reaches for the third time. And that'll bring up Houston Hawkins. Hawkins is 0 for 1. 0 for 2. He reached on an error. And was left at third in the third. After Bookout was able to get out of the inning. There's a fly ball to deep left field, back at the fence, and it's off the fence. And there's a double for Hawkins. And an RBI double at that for Houston Hawkins. So 2 out still, and a 2 out run, and that'll bring up Dylan Reynolds. Reynolds had a single in the third, was left at second base. There's ball 1. And now, as Bookout was just getting into a groove, he allows a 2-out hit and another 2-out hit on the double. And it's 6-0 Spirit Lake. 2-0. And now a 3-0 count here to Reynolds. Reynolds. And ball 4. I believe that's the second walk that Bookout has issued so far. Radcliffe goes, Reynolds stays. Radcliffe's at the plate, excuse me. Hawkins goes to third. Reynolds stays put. Radcliffe has struck out both times so far. Both swinging strikeouts. Both of his at-bats, only one of his at-bats were against Baker. Two and 0. Reynolds goes, swing and a miss, 2-1. Runners at second and third with 2 out, 2-1 count to Radcliffe, the catcher. Swing and a miss, 2-2. Bookout trying to get out of the inning with only 1 run allowed. Here's Bookout's pitch in there for strike 3, and a strikeout of Radcliffe for the 3rd time today. The hat trick on Radcliffe. This time it's looking. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Lions down 6-0. Second at bat for Mitch Van Beek. First time he grounded out to short. And he takes ball one. Leading off the fourth inning for the Lions. Lions only with one base runner so far. There's a strike. And that was Ryan Metzger, who singled to left and then was thrown out in a double play to end the third inning. There's a ball, 2-1. Want to thank our sponsors, Frontier Bank, Premier Bank, Denobel Austin & Company PC, Lyon County Chiropractic, Lester Feed and Grain, State Farm, DRG Mechanical, Wells Tax and Accounting, and Premier Bank, I think I said them. Don't actually have the sheet in front of me, but I believe that is it. So Van Beek pops out. Too short. Here is Sieperta taking a strike. And now he fouls one off. 0-2. To Sieperta. He takes strike three. Second time Sieperta's gone down on strikes. This time he goes down looking. Here's Riley Van Wy. The third strikeout for DeVos. 2 on Sieperta, 1 on Brady Wright. Here's Riley Van Wy with a swing and a foul, 0-1. Van Wy hit it sharply, but right at the shortstop, Houston Hawkins, who threw him out to his opposite number at short. Swing and a miss. Van Wy going way upstairs to try and get that one. And now it's 0-2. And that one he leaves up there wisely, 1-2. And he takes one in the dirt, 2-2. 2-2, 2 outs. Nobody on for the Lions here in the bottom of the fourth. They trail 6-0. And ball. Looked like the umpire, sounded like the umpire was maybe going to call strike three, but it is a ball, 3-2. Full count to Van Wy. Grounds one again to short. Hawkins is going to have to hurry. It's in the dirt, and Van Wy beats it out, and the ball was dropped anyways. So an infield single for Van Wy, and here's Jaden Baker, the first baseman. Baker takes strike one. Couple of throwovers to Van Wy, to keep Van Wy close, I should say. Should get a little bit cooler here yet tonight. It's getting a little chilly right now. Not so bad for us up in the booth, but might be a little chillier down on the field. The wind is picking up a little bit. The sun goes behind the clouds. Baker fouled that one off. It's 0-2 with 2 outs. Van Wy at first after his infield single. Swing and a miss. Gonna have to throw to first, and he's out. Reynolds keeps his foot on the bag. Strikeout and a putout of 2-3. We go to the 5th. 6-0, Spirit Lake. Gavin DeVos, the pitcher, leads off to start the 5th inning. Swing and a miss. DeVos has flown out to center field both times. Bookout still on the mound for the Lions. There's a check swing, but it's put in play. Metzger's going to have to hurry, and he got him. Nice dig out by first baseman Jaden Baker. And that will bring up Austin Jennings, the center fielder. Lions get a quick out to start the 5th inning. Jennings is 0 for 1 with a walk. And he was left at first base after that walk in the 3rd inning. As Spirit Lake left, the bases loaded to end the 3rd inning. I believe. Well, that might not be right. It might have been just 1st and 2nd. Looks like that, and it's 1-1. To Jennings. DH is Gavin Kramer. He will hit next. Swing and a miss, 1-2. Bookout gets up on top. There's a line drive on one hop fielded by Baker. He'll step on the bag for 3 unassisted, excuse me. And that will bring up Gavin Kramer. Kramer 0 for 2. He struck out looking in the 2nd inning. That was part of the only 1-2-3 inning of the game for the Lions so far. And in the third, he flew out to center field. Swings and fouls this one off to start the at-bat. For strike one, Bookout gets the first 2 outs here in the fifth. Hopefully he'll have his first 1-2-3 inning. And there's a ball. 1-1. I don't think I mentioned Bookout's pitching stats from last year. They were very good. He was 3-2 with a 2.03 ERA. Only 11 earned runs in 38 innings. He did walk 25 guys but he did strike out 38 batters. And that's exactly 1 batter an inning. He won't get a strikeout here, but he did miss trying to tag the runner. He did throw him out at first, so a 1-3 putout ends the top of the fifth. Lions got some work to do, down 6-0 to the Indians. Bottom of the fifth coming up. Brant Bookout, the pitcher, will start the fifth inning for the Lions at the plate. He flew out to center his first time up. First pitch is outside for ball 1. Strike on the inside corner. DeVos has worked magnificently here tonight for the Indians. As I said, a 3.12 ERA from a season ago. Swing and a miss to Baker. Or to Bookout, excuse me. 1-2. Here's the 1-2 to Bookout. Left up high, 2-2. Bookout on this season last year only took 1 walk. See if we can get him one here. There's a pitch in the dirt. Full count. Three and 2 to Brant Bookout. There's a swing and a foul to keep the at-bat alive. Here's Buckout and a swing and a miss. And now Brendan Huseman. He flew out to center his first time. Here's Huseman. Takes a ball at the letters. Maybe outside as well. There's a strike. Looks like a breaking ball he dropped in there. Hard to tell from the angle I'm at, but that's kind of what it looked like. 1-1. There's a fastball. And it's 1-2. One and two to Huseman. And a strike. 3 called. Back-to-back strikeouts to start the inning. Actually, 3 strikeouts in a row dating back. No, just kidding. Yes. 3 strikeouts in a row. Here's Ryan Metzger. Sixth strikeout for DeVos. Here's a strike again. He's been a strike-throwing machine. Don't think he's walked a batter yet. Metzger takes strike 1. He's got the lone hit for the Lions. Actually, one of the 2 hits. Van Wy had an infield single. 0-2 now. Metzger's got the only hit that left the infield. Left upstairs, 1-2 to Metzger. Bottom of the 5th, 1-2 the count. Lions trailing 6-0. Here's a ground ball to shortstop Houston Hawkins. He throws it over the head of Reynolds, and Metzger will stay at first base this time as he slid trying to get back to the first base again. He's kind of had some issues with balance tonight. And that will bring up Brady Wright with 2 outs and a runner at first. Now I'm kind of curious how you score that. It looked like Ryan was going to be out, but it was pretty close. Either way, he's on first. And here's Brady Wright. Strike 1 to Brady Wright. There's a fly ball to left, and the left fielder Ben Newman makes the catch, and an F7 ends the 5th inning. We go to the 6th, only 2 innings left. 6-0, Lions trailing. Kyler Olson, the second baseman, takes ball one from Brand Bookout. Ball in the dirt. 2-0 from Bookout. A little bit off to start the sixth inning. There's a strike. I believe it's 3-1, the count. And there's a strike, 3-2. Oh, strike three, actually, as we were wrong on the count. So a strikeout for Bookout, called strike three, and here comes the top of the order, Ben Newman. Oh, and 1, the count to Newman, and there's strike two. Bookout back in the strike zone again. And the 0-2 on the way. It's a ball, 1-2. There's a ball. Bookout has 3 strikeouts so far, this being his 4th inning of work. I take that back. He's got 4 strikeouts in 4 innings so far, or this being his 4th inning. Now the count is 3-2. And ball 4. And a walk will put Newman aboard. That'll bring up Christensen, who's reached all 3 times. Christensen with a walk, a single, and, a walk, a single, and a double. And he scored all 3 times. Newman back in at first base. There's a ball. One and 0 to Christensen. There's a ball. 2-0. There's a strike. 2-1 to Christensen. And a ball. 3-1. Hitters count. We'll see if the runner from first takes off. He does not. And the pitch grounded to second baseman Metzger, who bobbles it, and an E4 that will be. And for the fourth time, Christensen has reached base. Here's a pitch for ball one to Houston Hawkins. The shortstop. Top of the sixth, one out, runners at first and second, 6-0 Spirit Lake leads. Runner goes to third on the play, and it's a foul ball. He'll have to go back. One and one the count. And a foul ball, 1-2. Hawkins struck out in the first, reached on an E5 in the third, and in the fourth he hit a double, an RBI double. That scored Christensen. Hoping to get Christensen without having to score a run this inning. He's scored every time he's reached base, and there's Sieperta bobbling the ball at third base. And the runner from second will go all the way home. And that'll bring up Dylan Reynolds. Seven to nothing. There's a swing and a miss by Reynolds. Swing and a miss, 0-2. Kind of reminds me of Mark Reynolds with the longer blonde hair, a power hitter. I think he is playing for the Rockies right now in Major League Baseball. Obviously, I don't think he's as tall. There's a strikeout of Reynolds. 2 down, and that brings up the catcher, Jack Radcliffe. There's a strike to Radcliffe. He struck out all 3 times. We're going to make it quadruple here. There's a ball, 1-1. Bookout got him 2 of the 3 times. Once looking, once swinging. Bookout has allowed 2 runs since coming in. There's a ball left upstairs, 2-1, excuse me. Here's the pitch, and that's in there for a strike, and it's even at 2-2. 7-0 Spirit Lake leads here in the top of the 6th inning with 2 outs, runners at first and second. Radcliffe at the plate. And the home plate umpire decides to try and clean off the plate at home. And now Bookout sets the mound again. Sets and delivers, and the pitch fouled off the backstop fence. Might have actually been close to the Lions' dugout fence. 2-2. 2 on and 2 out. Here in the top of the 6th. There's ball 3, a full count. Runners will take off on the pitch. Three, two outs. 2 on. And the pitch. Here's a swing and a miss. The 4th time Radcliffe has gone down on strikes tonight. 3 by Brant Bookout. We go to the bottom half of the 6th inning where the Lions will try and get on the board when we come back. Zed Hymanson leads things off for the Lions here in the bottom of the 6th. First pitch swinging, foul the ball. One and one. Two and one as he leaves it up. DeVos has been masterful to say the least. He's got 6 strikeouts. Three and one. The count on Hymanson. Almost certainly going to be taking here on 3 and 1. With the Lions down 7-0. And there's a strike. 3 and 2. Leading off the bottom of the 6th. Hymanson lined out to right his first time up. He fouls this one off. Defensive swing. Here's DeVos firing on the 3-2. Strike 3 called. 7th strikeout for DeVos. And here's the top of the order for the Lions, Mitch Van Beek. First pitch left upstairs, 1-0. Van Beek grounded out to short and flew out or popped out to short also. And this time he will fly out to center field for out number 2. That'll bring up Gable Seipert, the third baseman. There's Seipert, swing and a foul to start the at-bat. Gable has struck out both times against DeVos, once swinging, once looking. And I don't think he's gotten ahead in the count at all, so he's been behind the whole night. And this time he's hit by a pitch. And that'll bring up Riley Van Wy with a runner at first in Seipert. And here's the shortstop, Riley Van Wy. Van Wy in the game, 1 for 2 with a base hit, an infield single. Van Wy takes one in the dirt, and it goes past Radcliffe, and Seipert will round second base and stay put there. Seipert with his 2-mile champion in the state of Iowa speed. Very successful track season for Gable Seipert and the entire Lions team, track team this year. Central Lyon boys, I believe, placed third, and I think the girls placed third too, or they placed pretty high. So, good season for the tracksters, and of course this has been really the first week that the Lions have been able to practice since track. 1-1, and now 1-2. Now Van Wy is going to have to protect a little bit. And Seipert will slide in, and the throw over the second baseman's head. Seipert goes to third base. And now Van Wy with a very important at-bat all of a sudden, as all he needs to do is beat out a ground ball. That's what he did his last time up. Let's see if he can give one a ride here. And there's a ball. 2-2, very close. Van Wy with a good eye there. And a swing and a miss. Strikeout of Van Wy, the 8th punch-out of the game for DeVos. He has been outstanding here tonight. We go to the 7th inning, 7-0 Spirit Lake. The pitcher, Gavin DeVos, will lead off the top of the 7th for the Indians. And a new pitcher on the mound for the Lions is Gable Seeperda. Going to first base again is Brant Bookout. Right fielder, Jaden Baker. And Hymanson goes to third base. Those are the changes for the Lions heading into the 7th inning, which more than likely will be the final inning. There's ball 1 delivered. And now 2-0. There's Seeperda delivers a strike. Four innings on the night for Bookout. 2 runs allowed. Not too bad considering the situation he came into. There's a swing and a miss and a strikeout after Seeperda fell behind 2-0. He comes back to strike him out. Center fielder Austin Jennings. Jennings in the game is 0 for 2. Or, excuse me. Yeah, he's 0 for 2. Pop out to Bookout. And he is now 0 for 3. He did walk earlier in the game, was left there. Designated hitter Gavin Kramer, he struck out looking in the 2nd, flew out to center in the 3rd, and grounded out to the pitcher, Bookout, in the 5th. First pitch in there for a strike, Seeperda. Delivering once again, and this time he hits him. Definitely unintentional. And now it is Kyler Olson. He takes one in the dirt, ball 1. There's a strike. 1-1. Top of the 7th inning, Lions trail 7-0. Here's the 1-1 count with 2 outs. And a pop-up. Seeperda calls for it, and he makes the catch to end the top of the 7th inning. A pop-out to the pitcher. We go to the bottom half of the inning where the Lions will try and get a rally started with the 4, 5, and 6 batters. We once again want to thank our sponsors, Frontier Bank, Premier Bank, DeNoble Austin & Company PC, Lester Feed and Grain, Lyon County Chiropractic, State Farm, DRG Mechanical, and Wells Tax and Accounting. Leading off the bottom of the 7th is Jaden Baker, now the right fielder. He takes ball 1. And ball 2. Baker in the game is 0 for 2. He grounded out to first and struck out looking, and the third strike was dropped. He was then put out by the first baseman on the throw from the catcher, Jack Radcliffe, as a stumble on that one. There's a strike finally to Baker, now 3-1. 3-1 leading off the bottom of the 7th. Lions trail 7-0. And ball 4, and the Lions have a leadoff base runner. And Jaden Baker. And now Brant Bookout, the first baseman, to bat. Bookout takes a strike on the outside part of the plate. And it's 1-1. Bookout on the game, 0 for 2. Flew out to center and struck out looking back in the 5th. There's a high drive to deep right center field. Back it goes into the warning track. Bookout will have a double. Going around third and coming home to score is Jaden Baker, and the Lions are on the board on a big RBI double by Brant Bookout. Nobody out here still in the 7th inning. Brendan Huseman now to bat. 0 for 2 in the game, a fly out to center and another strikeout. There's a strike from DeVos. 0-1. See if Huseman can get into one here. And he fouls that one off. A check swing. Now it's 0-2. Metzger will hit next for the Lions. And the 0-2 is DeVos with a long look in. Finally delivers, strike 3 call. So a strikeout looking. Second time Huesman's gone down, both times looking. Here is Ryan Metzger. He has reached both times. Reached on an E6. And reached on a base hit to left. Bookout delivered an RBI double, the third hit of the game for the Lions. And there's a ball left upstairs. 1-1 to Metzger. 1 out, runner at second. Here in the bottom of the 7th, Lions trail 7-1. There's a swing and a miss. 1-2. Metzger, as I said, has reached both times so far. Would like to do that again here if he can. 1-2. Book out at second with 1 out. Bottom of the 7th inning. Lions trail by 6. There's a swing and a foul. Metzger keeping the at-bat alive. Taking a look at what's to come for both of these teams. For Spirit Lake, they have a big tournament tomorrow, assuming the weather holds out. And that's in Remsen tomorrow. Metzger strikes out and is tagged out. 2 down. And that will bring up Brady Wright. So as I said, Spirit Lake, their next action is tomorrow. Brady Wright takes a strike. Lions down to their final out. And for the Lions, they have a 3-game week next week. They'll be at Sioux Center, at Sioux Central, and then back home next Friday night against Okoboji. And we'll have that game for you. Here's a ground ball to second, and that ends the game. 4-3 ground out by Wright, and that is going to do it. We want to again thank our sponsors for sponsoring the first game of the season. Frontier Bank, Premier Bank, DeNoble Austin Company PC, Lester Feed and Grain, Lyon County Chiropractic, State Farm, DRG Mechanical, and Wells Tax and Accounting. A very good night for Gavin DeVos as he had 8 strikeouts on the night. We'll come back with a final look at statistics after this. Ten strikeouts for DeVos on the game. And the Lions had 3 hits on the night. 1 by Ryan Metzger. 1 by Riley Van Wy. And an RBI double in the bottom of the 7th inning by Brant Bookout. And that was the only hitting for the Lions tonight. Some good hitting by the top of the order for Spirit Lake, or some good at-bats, I should say, as the number 1 and number 2 hitters scored 5 of their 7 runs tonight. So that is basically the story. Good pitching from DeVos and some timely hitting and some good hitting to start some innings for Spirit Lake. That's going to do things here from the Central Lyon baseball at Borman Forster Fields in Rock Rapids. We'll be back here again next week on YouTube for the broadcast of the Okoboji game. Until then, I'm Carson Schubert saying good night and have a happy Memorial Day weekend. Thank you for those who have served, are serving, or will serve our country. And good night, everybody.